So lead generation. How can you generate leads for your business when you're starting from scratch? Or how can you generate leads for your business when you're struggling to get enough work, shall we say? So maybe you've got an established electrical business already, but it's gone a bit quiet and you're scratching around this week for work. How can you just get some instant leads to generate you some instant work? Well, this is something that's really benefited me a lot when I started up my business originally. Because as I say, I was starting from scratch and I needed some instant work to get me going. And of course, your marketing strategies that we've talked about in the previous lesson, they take time to kind of get going and generate leads often. Whereas lead generation services can provide you with instant leads for instant work for your business. So things like ratedpeople.com and mybuilder.com, those are sort of the two most prominent ones. They proved really beneficial to my business and I want to explain to you now how they work. Ratedpeople.com is basically a website where people go and they post a job that they need doing. So it might be, I need 3 new light fittings putting up in my hallway and bedrooms. And they post the job, and then what happens is Rated People have you and other electricians on their system, and they will push the lead to you with a brief description of the job, and then you can choose to buy that lead, and essentially then they will give you, in exchange for some money, they'll give you the contact details of that customer, and then you can contact the customer and either book the job in straight away or at least provide them a quote for that job. My Builder works basically the same way, it's just a slightly different platform, but it pretty much works in the same way. But with My Builder you can apply for the lead, but then the customer has to choose to shortlist you or not. So there might be 20 electricians that ask to be shortlisted, and what you do is you send a little message to the customer saying, I'm interested in your job, please shortlist me, selling yourself by saying something like, we offer the highest customer service in our profession or something like that. And then the customer will go through the list of all the people who have asked to be shortlisted, and based on your profile and the message that you send them, they will decide whether they want to shortlist you. And only when you get shortlisted do you pay My Builder for the lead. Ratedpeople.com leads are expensive, so they can be from like £20 up to like £150 for a lead, depending on the budget that the customer sets for the job. So if it's just like changing a few light fittings, they might have set a budget for £150 for the job. You might pay £20 plus VAT for the lead. Whereas if they want a rewire and they've set a budget of £5,000, you can easily pay £150 to buy that lead. So with Rated People now, I would say it's got a bit too expensive, and we don't use it anymore because we don't really need the work. But the problem with Rated People is that they sell the lead not just to you, but they can sell it up to 3 people. And what can happen is somebody else offers a lower price than you, or somebody else has contact. Somebody else contacts them quicker than you, so they get the job, and although you've paid for the lead, you've not actually got anything. The best way to get Rated People work is to actually buy the lead before anyone else does, and the system will tell you whether you're the first to buy, the second to buy, or the third to buy. So if you know that you're the first to buy and the job's been posted fairly recently, that's the time to go for it and buy the lead, and then contact the customer straight away and just try and book in the job. Then when other electricians buy the lead and contact them, they'll probably say, I've already got somebody in to do it now. That's when ratedpeople.com works. I used to use it for small jobs. I'd pay like 15, 20 quid for the lead, charge the customer 100 quid for fitting a light fitting or something like that, and then you still make money on the job. You've just got to factor in the cost of the lead to the actual price that you do on the job, otherwise you can end up out of pocket. For My Builder, the leads are a lot cheaper. So usually it's about £3, £5, £7 for a lead, depending on the size of the job. And so it's much more affordable, and the jobs tend to be fairly decent quality. There's a lot of work coming through My Builder all the time. We're still on there because we've got a profile with loads of good reviews on there, same with ratedpeople.com. And I'll talk about the review side of those two platforms in a minute. But My Builder, I would say, is now probably the better of the two options in terms of lead generation, because it's usually every day there's leads coming through, and you can just apply to those leads and get the jobs quite quickly. So if you want to generate instant work and you're willing to fork out a little bit of money up front, that's definitely a good thing to do. And those two platforms enable you to build up an online reputation as well, which is what I want to talk about now. Because they have their own review systems, just like Checkatrade does, just like your Google reviews. Rated People and My Builder also have their own review systems, so that every time a job is completed, the customer leaves you some feedback, and you basically build up a profile on their platform with reviews, positive or negative. So you've got to make sure you do a good job every time and get 5-star reviews. But if you do, you will build up a really good profile, which will also then appear on your search rankings for Google. So for example, if you Google my company, Artisan Electrics, you'll see that it comes up with not just my Google reviews, but reviews from other platforms as well. You'll see my Rated People reviews there, my Builder reviews, my Checkatrade reviews, and any other reviews that I've got on different platforms. And of course, it's much more convincing for a customer if you have reviews on loads of different platforms that are all positive than if it's just on one platform and they might think, oh, well, you know, they could be fake reviews or something. But it's very difficult to fake positive reviews across the whole of the internet on various different platforms. So that's another reason why these lead generation sites are actually quite good to get set up on, especially when you're starting, even if it's just to build up a positive set of reviews on various different platforms. So I hope that the lead generation side of things has been beneficial to you, and now we'll get on to our next lesson.